afternoon, West Ham fans. Russ, the West Ham Network. Hope you are safe and well. It's that time of the week. If you're new to the channel, on a Monday and a Thursday, usually, we do the Russy Rumour Roundup, the original rumour rating. Don't you forget it. Don't you forget it, 6'2". Where we sort of collate the rumours, the ITKs, all the gossip pages, and present it back to you to save you having to do it. And, you know, I'm always say at the beginning, warning, warning, warning. I am not saying we are signing all of these players. Quite the opposite. In fact, we keep a tally of how many players we've been linked with just to prove how ridiculous the whole thing is. But there might be some nuggets. And what we do is we talk about the rumour, we talk about the player, see whether it's, you know, we think it's, we can see is there sort of any validity in it, and then we apply the Russy Rumour rating, the original rumour rating on that. So it makes sense. Don't forget to give it a like, comment, share also as well. It helps us out. So let's start with Haj Malik Diouf. Now we spoke about him. We did Ben put some stats together. We spoke about it the other day. Now we are led to be believed that we are about €5 million away from what they want to pay. They want to pay for the 20-year-old Senegalese defender / winger. Most of last season he was playing left midfield rather than necessarily as a defender, but you know that's, I think, what we're looking to bring in him as very much a replacement for Emerson and competition for Ollie Scholes, in my humble opinion. Now, we allegedly put in a bid of €20 million for the 20-year-old, and we're told that we have to up it to 25. Crystal Palace tried to buy him for about £12 million in January, which was rejected, and so our bid was about £17 million. So we shall see if we go back in for another hit for him. I think, you know, he's young, he's got plenty of years ahead of him, and very much in that mould of the newer sort of defend, like wing back type thing. You know, it's more about the attacking prowess, which he has got a lot of assists, scored 11 goals as well in his time, and had a decent spell, particularly this season as a sort of breakthrough season. Russy Rumour rating, the original rating, gives it a 6 out of 10, 60%. 6 Russies. Let's talk about a Spanish international defender we've been linked to, 26-year-old Spanish international centre-half, Oscar Mingueza. Oscar Mingueza. I'm going to say Oscar Mingueza. Over 200 appearances in La Liga for Celta Vigo currently. He's played for Barcelona. But according to reports, he has been identified by West Ham's recruitment team by the supercomputer. And a possible deal. They're having talks with Celta Vigo about a potential move for him. He is apparently open to a switch to the Hammers. What a surprise, because he probably doubled his wages. To be honest, I don't know a lot about him, to be perfectly fair. But, you know, he's played for some decent sides. He's 26. He's not particularly tall for a centre-half. You know, 6 foot on the dot. You know, you've got to think Todibo's 6'4", 6'5", something like that. Kill must be about 6'4", 6'5" as well. So, and reports coming out, you know, that maybe... Aguerd's not getting the deals for Aguerd, which they thought they were going to do, unsurprisingly. The Russy Rumour rating gives it a 40%, because I think there's probably better centre-halves and more centre-halves who could we could make a profit on further down the line, potentially. We're going to talk about one in a minute. One who is not a centre-half, who is... Actually, let's talk about that one now. It makes more sense. Let me just move him up a little bit. Is Charlie Cresswell. One Cresswell has left the building, but could another Cresswell return in his place? Bit younger model, about 14 years younger than him, and a little bit taller as well. 6'3", centre-half, currently playing in Toulouse. Now, according to XWU employee, he is one player we've been very impressed with during the Euros. Obviously, England winning the under-21 tournament last week. And Charlie has been one player who has impressed the likes of the West Ham scouts out there, and currently at Toulouse. Obviously, we bought Issa Diop from Toulouse. Was it? I think that was their record signing when we signed him, I believe, for Toulouse. So it's going to take a bit of money to get him, I would suggest, because his value was no doubt would have gone up. He's a homegrown player as well, which is of interest to West Ham. Clearly, you know, the likes of Danny Ings and Cresswell going, and they're homegrown players. And yes, we can bring in the academies, but we still have to have a homegrown quota. The likes of Ollie Scars doesn't technically have to be in the 25-man squad because he's underage. So I mean, I think he's a type of player at 22. He's got his whole career ahead of him. Really, he's really sort of in the infancy, and if he can cost, I don't know what Oscar Mingueza is going to cost. I like that name, Mingueza. I don't know what Charlie will cost, but we shall see. Clearly, we got interested in him. It's the type of player I would be interested in us getting. He ticks a lot of boxes in terms of what we're looking for. And the Russy Rumour rating gives it a Lamar because there's going to be a lot of clubs after him. We are after a lot of under 21s. Harvey Elliott, Tyler Morton, Amari Hutchinson, Charlie Cresswell. We're going to talk about another German under 21 star that we've been linked with as well. So we were linked, obviously, Nick Voldvard, who looks like he's going to Bayern Munich. There's plenty of them. Actually, we're moving it around. Let's stay in theme and stick with the 21s. But let's talk about the German 21s. Obviously, we spoke about Brendan Bidon. No, that was the other guy. Rico Reitz, the Borussia Mönchengladbach central midfielder. But apparently, according to reports, we are interested in Nelson Weiper. Arse Weiper we are interested in. 20-year-old centre forward has attracted interest from West Ham following impressive performances at the under-21s, according to reports. West Ham is said to be considering a summer move for Nelson, with his parent club Mainz expecting to seek around a £12 million deal plus add-ons as part of the deal. 6'3", wouldn't say particularly prolific from a first team standpoint, but could develop potentially for £12 million. Bit of pump money, I'll be honest, in it for £12 million now, which is ridiculous when you think about how much £12 million actually is in normal people's money, not football players' money. Although I'm not too sure. I mean, he appears to be one of several of the German squad that West Ham are currently keeping an eye on. But I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Just doesn't. I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know what. But if he's head of the supercomputer, then the data never lies, or does it? Let's talk about a player who's in the Club World Cup, who's starring for the Club World Cup for Fluminense, and that is Jhon Arias. Jhon Arias. According to my favourite Spanish news outlet, for Jesus, the 27-year-old Colombian international is someone we have been looking at. Now, he's someone we've been linked to before, and people go, "Oh, but we've been linked to him before." There's only a finite number of players who are available and who will be coming to the top of data charts and things like that. And John has had a very good Club World Cup. 4 games, 2 goal contributions, and he helped his side reach the quarterfinals of the competition by defeating Inter Milan the other night, and he was the man of the match in that game, actually. I mean, he's small, diminutive, he's quick, he holds up the ball well, plays on the wings, but has played as a second striker if need be. Now, he would, in my opinion, he doesn't fit the Potter profile. Granted, he's 27. I think it all comes down to money for him. I mean, for me, or money for the club already, how much he costs. He is a good player. He's an exciting player. He's got pace, which something we desperately need. 27, he's coming to the end of his usefulness, so to speak. When players rely on pace, that's the first thing that really goes when we get older. Believe me, I know. I used to run for Essex, 100 metres actually. 11.2 was my PB. Obviously, with Kudus going, or all but going, I'm not saying he's a direct replacement for Kudus, but he would be an inexpensive replacement for Kudus. And I think there's better options potentially than Arias, but Yeah, it's high risk, really. It's high risk bringing a player in who's never played in Europe, really, towards later bit of his career. But as I've said, looking at the Brighton, we talk about the Brighton model all the time. Under Potter's regime, the likes of Danny Welbeck and people like that came in. I suppose it'll come down to money. If it was like 10 million quid, I think I'd probably spend that on him. Just because you know what you're going to get. You're going to get pace. You're going to get power. But the Russy Rumour rating, the original rating, only gives it 40%. So I just can't see it. Although I can, I can't, if that makes sense at the same time. Let's talk about Yunus Musah, the 22-year-old US midfielder, currently at AC Milan. According to Corriere dello Sport, it reports that West Ham are still in the mix for the American midfielder and have been joined by the likes of Nottingham Forest and Wolves. But AC Milan are yet to receive an offer so far. I report that he's not part of Allegri's plans this season. Therefore, his agent is working to find a solution between it was Napoli, but also Premier League sides. There was the move to Napoli that's still kind of alive, but Napoli won't hit the valuation that AC Milan see, around £30 million. Well, 30 million euros, I apologise, about 26.5, 27 million pounds. It's opened the door for the Premier League clubs to come in. We have been led to believe that West Ham did put an offer in, 11th hour offer for Napoli to try and meet off the parcel. Maybe it was a phantom bid, quite possibly, but something was put in for some description. But we'll see what happens with that, because I do like him. I like him as a player. He's got that sort of like, which we need. Going to give it a Lamar, 50-50. What about now? 50-50. So let's talk about someone who's not going to sign for West Ham, because I just can't see this one happening. But we are being linked. And as always, we like to present everything that's been linked, and you can make your own decisions. But the fact is, he's 30. I just don't see where people say, what about John? 27, 3 years makes a big difference, particularly when you're talking about, when you're talking about sort of experience and pace and power. I just think Mattia Zaccagni is not going to be a West Ham player. So that means he probably will be, because I've said he's not going to be. Sod's law. And actually, we did it before. I looked at some stuff we did previously in the last summer transfer window, talking about some of it was never going to sign for West Ham. But anyway, let's go through the rumour anyway. So, according to reports, West Ham have been looking at the left winger who turns 30 later this month. He's already 30. He's said to have been attracted attention from West Ham. He's currently estimated at 20 million euros, 17.5 million quid. 17. He is the Lazio skipper, and he recently signed a long-term deal to June 2029. 10 senior caps for Italy. He cuts off the. He cuts inside, link up play, multiple roles, but he's 30 years old, and I just can't see us spending the best part of 18, 19 million quid potentially on a 30-year-old. I think we've got. Even you could even at a pinch push up Malik Diouf. He's played a lot of times at that left-hand side. He could potentially push up as a second. As a sort of left winger behind. Why has that done that? Anyway, I'm going to. But anyway, Russy Rumour rating, the original rating, gives it 20%. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but my list of 10. This is the current. It's quite nice like that. It's very arty. This is the current list of players we've been linked to. For some reason, it's gone to a transparent background, despite the fact me saying I don't want a transparent background. And as you can see, there's a green one there. Daniel Cummings. As the club have announced the signing of the young former Celtic striker on a free transfer. Well, probably it looks like Jonathan David's off to Juventus, so I'll scrap that one. But we are rapidly approaching, what are we on? 100 and, I think it's 20s, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are they 20s or 25s? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. No, they're not that many, are they? I should have really counted. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. That was it. 30. So that's 120, 123, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 130. 134, 135, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 141. 141 players. Wow. Anyway, back later on for Hammer's Headlines as per usual. And until next time, take care. Stay hydrated. Much love.